Which, once again, George Lucas telling us, hey, you can forgive colonialism. And it's like, no, the only way we can forgive it is if you repair the fucking damage.
Right.
So it's like, that's the only... So I'm only forgiving Kylo Ren. Oh, all right, cool, you did that. Use your force powers to rebuild the Jedi Temple that you destroyed. Use all the influence you have and the resources to repair all the damage you've done galaxy-wide. And then you're still not good. Then we'll talk about giving you some citizenship somewhere and living a normal life.
You know what's crazy about that? Like, Anakin, like, destroyed the Jedi Temple, but, like, he did it with, like, a bunch of stormtroopers. Like, Kylo Ren did that shit by himself.
He just pulled up.
He killed everybody in there, and he blew the shit up.
Luke was gone, and Kylo was like, yeah. Sorry,
like, goddamn. Like, Luke one man, like, this shit was on fire. Like,
my nigga Luke came back. You ever seen the meme of the black dude with he's just like, damn, Luke came back. Damn. God damn. God damn. God damn. That was straight up Luke, bro.
When they broke his TV, yeah.
My man, like, left. My man, Dad was like, nah, I can't do this no more, Yoda. Yoda sitting there like, come on, man. And Luke's like, oh, I mean, what about you? Yeah, remember when Pops killed them younglings? You wasn't around. Yeah, fuck all this bullshit, man. I see why you left in the first place. Gone. Ray come back like, nah, I ain't with all that shit. When it got me one time, I would have literally
fixed this. The bad guy for that shit.
I know, like, literally.
That's a lot.
It's like, how you gonna make me hate Luke? My man's going through it, bro.
I do like that movie, though. Anyways, if you're just tuning in, hi. You're just tuning in. I'm your host, Logan, and this is the
Star Wars is George Lucas trying to sell you that colonialism can be forgiven for nothing, which it cannot be. You need to repair that fucking damage you did. Sorry.
Wait, I have to introduce you first, and then you get to say that.
No, I said it already.
All right. I'm your host, Logan, and this is the Milk and Toast podcast. I'm here with my best friend, Mitch. Say hi to the people, Mitch.
Because I'm sore. Good to see y'all.
Jesus. Okay. Anyways, we were just talking about colonialism in Star Wars, I guess.
Yeah, that wasn't the conversation, but it came upon me in the moment.
No.
And, like, it's, when you think about it, it's literally George Lucas being like, you can forgive the most terrible of acts for nothing. Find the kindness in your heart and forgive a person who committed genocide against 1 billion lives. They're not doing anything to fix it, but, you know, they're right now.
There's too many, like, he has to chill with how many people, like, die in Star Wars, like,
no chill, bro.
I think it's because, like, the explosion's real big. You're like, oh shit, but you don't think about, like, if, like, somebody just blew up Earth,
a planet. Exactly.
Like, there's like billions of
bro, billions upon billions of lives, bro.
Good
gone,
people, bad people, it didn't matter. It's just they gone.
Dead.
And then, like, you blow up a Death Star, it's like 1 billion people are gone there.
Okay, and once again, I told Logan this bullshit everywhere. I don't give a fuck about the people working on the Death Star, whoever the fuck they were. But he brought up a very valid point that there were prisoners on the Death Star, which is true. And I do feel bad for them. Those are actual casualties of war. But everybody else on the Death Star, fuck all of them. The fuck is you talking about? Like, sorry, Death Star was too high a risk to keep, like, if there was an opportunity to have everyone escorted off or, like, take them away before we blew it up, sure, of course I would choose that. But wasn't no option like that, and we need to get rid of Death Star. Some of them motherfuckers are gonna have to go, and by some, I mean all of them, because the Death Star blew up and everybody.
No, I get it. It's just, I don't know. It puts a bad taste in my mouth for some reason.
As it should. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't mind too.
Should I feel bad?
Well,
like, am I wrong?
I'll be completely honest with you. I didn't feel bad at first because we're at war, and if I'm at war and you're truly the enemy, like, there is no mercy, and, like, I got to destroy you for the greater good or whatever. I just, well, you know, like, I didn't mean it in that way because I'm not talking conquest. I'm talking, like, because, you know, the rebels, they're you know,
Mitch is like,
morally
if I gotta burn
resistance.
up a horde of horses and let them run through your town to burn it down, then so be it. Like, it's just like, wait, what?
You know, well, whatever. No, I would never be that crazy. But nonetheless, like, at first I didn't feel bad because I was like, fuck them. They're implicit to the fucking damage that they're doing. They know what they're doing. They know they work on the Death Star. They know that they're oppressing an entire galaxy.
But how many Finns were on the Death Star?
See, and that's the thing that I don't know. But honestly, I don't think any, because they would have, like, went through a Finn story or something like that, or tried to flee, or probably died. There probably were more Finns, but they died.
A lot of stormtroopers were conscripted.
I know some of them, and the ones that were like Finn, they probably died because what's her name, like whatever her name was, Brianna Toth, but Star Wars, like she probably found them and killed them. And
you know her name? I don't know. You know
Brianna
everybody.
Toth. I forget the actress's name because she's a really good actress.
Oh
Played
no,
Brianna
I
Toth.
thought you was talking about the
character,
the black girl from the last movie.
No. I'm talking about the Finn's technical general, the one who ran like Kylo Ren's second in command. Mm-hmm. She wore the special armor.
I don't know what she did.
She was commander. I mean, she was the general of the fleet. Otherwise, I mean, he was in command, but she coordinated everything.
They just made like a weird character and gave her a job.
She was the job title.
They gave her a job because she was in Game of Thrones.
Maybe, but I'd give Brianna Toth the job. Like,
all right.
I didn't mean that in a weird way. You were waiting at me.
The way you said it was like.
I know, but and the way you looked at me, I was like, "There's nothing weird about that statement, bro."
Respect.
I was just saying, like, I'd give Brianna Toth the job just because, like, in Game of Thrones, people would look at Brianna Toth, and she was like, Brianna Toth, excuse me, and she was like, people would look at her and be like, "Yeah, she failed to protect the people that she was charged with protecting."
Yeah,
but it's like literally no. She was the only person dealing with extremely, extremely rare circumstances. And yet still surviving.
That's an excuse.
And carrying her duty.
That's an excuse.
My nigga, a witch birthed a blood magic shadow demon that no one could stop. And like, even if you had been there, even if Brianna Toth had been there, she wouldn't have been able to stop said demon.
I think.
Had she known earlier, maybe.
So but then what we're saying is basically she just has so much bad luck.
Yeah.
See, I don't want her around me then. Like, I can't. Like,
but she don't
have
her
resume,
luck.
Like, when she's signing up for the job to bodyguard me, I'll be like, listen.
Like, yeah, you lost, like, how many? It's like, no, but it was real through big, shadow magic.
And I appreciate your fighting skills, but you cannot be on this team because you're going to get me killed. Like, your karma, for some reason, is all fucked up.
And if we go down the line, that her family line, I imagine there's some details on that. But, I mean, she beat the Hound.
And she did. She kicked his ass.
She didn't kick his ass. It was a good fight, but like I didn't expect her to win.
Up. She threw him down a mountain.
I know. At the end, but at first I was scared. I was like, "Yo, damn!" I was like, "Brianne, like I know you're strong, but the Hound's strong as fuck, bro." And then she was like, "Nah, I got heart."
She fought him like she was two men.
Yo, like she was like, "I got heart, motherfucker." Yeah, I got heart.
Mitch, I would even go like you say she got heart, but like she beat him like she was good, like she had time. Like she had time today.
Nah, you making it sound way too easy. I wish it looked that easy, but it was not an easy fight. She just persevered through. She's strong, of course.
He should have done a lot better in that fight, and she was. What do you mean? She fucked him up.
Okay, no. Now I'm confused because why should he have done better?
Because his power level in the show is like he's like one of like the God. Yeah, like
oh my God.
No, he's like comes from like the two people in the show that are like unbeatable. And
no,
then like like the only person that he's supposed to really be able to beat him is his brother.
I know that is true. That is true.
So like she came in and she's like, "Nah, motherfucker, like
not today. I would have lost too much for this shit right here.
I got time. I got a lot of anger in
you
these
don't
bones.
know how much I've been hurting. You on some bullshit today. All I told you is let me have a start child. You won't be on some bullshit.
So if you need like somebody to kick somebody's ass, she's good.
Yeah,
but if you need somebody to like protect your life, don't pick her.
I would still trust Brienne. I'm just gonna make sure I have some. Gonna make sure I have some court magicians around.
You're gonna have some sage. You need some sage.
Fuck yeah, like absolute. Like no shadow demons coming to what? Fuck out of here with that shit. To be honest, what's his name? The king. I forget Robert's brother. I forget his name. But like, it's his dumbass fault. He didn't have no court magicians around.
Magicians?
Yeah, you need some type of sorcerer or some around. Like, what you mean? You got to be protected by all outcomes. To be honest, everybody's fucking up.
The thing is about that show though, like like they're going from a time where like they don't have dragons anymore, so they don't believe in magic anymore, which is weird. But like, that like that's the story. So it's like people who are like almost disconnected from their own like mysticism and religion in a way, which is kind of a good allegory for like today.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah,
I agree. But yeah, Star Wars though. Yeah, I didn't realize it before, but yeah. And I guess that would show up in many places. There always is that. And with certain types of white people specifically, there is always that like, yo, we gotta get over and through things. And they don't understand. Black people are always like, yeah, so here's how you could do that for us. And then white people are like, well, and it's like, no, this is the only way it works.
Let me say it like this. Where this conversation started, because we got away from it, but like...
Oh, yeah, finding redeemable characters that are black.
Where this conversation started was we were talking about redemption arcs.
Yep.
And redemption arcs for certain characters. And like you bring up a good point when like white people are like, we got to get through some stuff, like how they use their characters to do that. But like, to me, there comes a certain type of hubris that comes with it, which is like, if you keep showing like white people that are like villains, like horrible white people, like do horrible shit, and then we keep excusing them of that horrible shit that they're doing, there comes a point where I think the message is that no matter what white people do, there's always forgiveness, or all of their actions are okay in a way. They're forgivable in a way. Like, it doesn't matter how many people you kill, doesn't matter what rampage you went on, as long as you show that you have sorrow and you're sorry for your actions, then that means that, everything could be all right. And like, you would look and you would say, well, Logan, what's wrong with that? What was wrong with that is that I don't live in a world like that with my black ass. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So like, nobody's like, it don't matter. Like, if I kill one person, if I think about killing somebody, like, there is no like redemption arc for me. Like, they don't want that unless their redemption arc has to do with somebody, some white savior picking me up, like Sandra Bullock coming in and like changing my life around and putting me in polo shirts and some shit like that. Like, nobody give a fuck about me. Yep. Right?
You're not civilized until you get the touch.
Until you get civilized through like whiteness or whatever. So it's like that's the problem I have with a lot of redemption arcs, is that like we're doing this thing, like whether it's like Kylo Ren or it's like, who's another one that I just had one on the top of my head that is just egregious. Negan. Huh?
You brought up Negan.
You brought up Negan. Negan, I think, is a better example of a good redemption arc, even though it is from a white character standpoint. And even though like he does take out one of the favorite characters, because like they follow an arc where like Negan has to go through trials of redemption. You know what I mean? Like, but so often what happens is you have a character, he's bad, he does bad shit. Now, the Joker. That was the other one I was thinking of. Like, Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. It's like...
I haven't seen it still, but...
Well, like, basically, it's supposed to be like a prequel story of like the Joker's origins. It's a type of Joker origin story. But like, the whole surrounding story is that there's this person and they're severely mentally ill and the system has failed them. And the movie claims that it's not like excusing his actions, but it kind of is in a way, because like he ends up being the hero at the end of the story. You know what I mean? Yeah, you have to watch it, but like,
I'm gonna have to see that and figure that out.
He does end up being the person that like is celebrated at the end of the movie. You know what I mean? He gets locked up and put away and stuff, and then it's like, oh, this is the Joker, blah, 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 But the way the movie normalizes his actions is just indicative of how a lot of writers write characters who are horrible and who just happen to be white a lot of the time. I don't get a lot of like... One redemption arc you brought up that was a good one, but this was written by a black person, is like the one in Diary of a Mad Black Woman.
The husband. I forget. Y'all know his name. Y'all know his face. We don't gotta.
I don't know his name, but
I know his name, but we know the face. I'll look it up because he's a good actor. But he is a good actor.
But like, that's a good redemption arc there. But like,
that's only because he suffers.
That's because he suffers, and he has to. And not only does he suffer, but he has to like learn the errors of his ways.
Exactly.
And like he has to actually,
because that's how it's supposed to work.
And then at the end, he still doesn't get back with his wife either. Like,
and has to accept that.
Like, yeah, he doesn't get rewarded for his redemption either, because redemption should not be about
it's what we can. You getting
it's not.
reward.
Yeah, it's not about what we can do for this character. And a lot of the times, what happens in these redemption arcs is that the question gets asked not only how does this character go from bad to good, but what can we do for this character to like ease their pain and stuff, when the character itself should be more focused on what it can do to alleviate or undo the pain that they have done. Right. Like we were talking about Kylo Ren earlier, and like that's not a situation in which somebody deserves a redemption arc.
Steve Harris,
yeah, from Diary of My Black Woman. Yeah.
You horrible ass husband, but proper example of how redemption works.
But that's a good redemption arc, and we just don't do that. And then like there's a lack of thought that comes into like what it is we're trying to say. You know what I mean? Right. So I don't know. So that's what I had on the brain. That's what I was thinking about, is just that we need to think about what type of stories we are allowed to be consumed. And there is a reason why. Like, there's a lot of...
these are the stories that, other than ourselves, that children will watch, and it'll help them, form their moral patterns and what should be right, what should be wrong, how things should work. And there's this, like, attitude, especially in America, white America, of course, that's just like, because... And it's so horrible because they play off the fact that you're supposed to forgive someone. Yeah. Which is true. But you forgive someone for you, not necessarily for them. Right. And the other thing is, it's like, well, if you're going to forgive them, they still need to do better. Yeah, like forgiveness isn't your excuse to go on. Like forgiveness... And be like, keep doing some bullshit. Yeah. Yeah. Like I say, I forgive you. That doesn't mean that you are absolved. Like forgiveness isn't absolvement. Like it doesn't mean that you're no longer culpable or you're no longer responsible for the harm you did. And I think people really misconstrue that idea a lot of the time when they're like, oh, please forgive me. What they're looking for isn't for forgiveness. What they're looking for is absolution. They're looking for, please give me a way to like not feel bad for this shit anymore. Please give me a way to like, not feel how I feel about this anymore, so I can move on. And that's not how your redemption is for you. Like forgiveness is for me, but redemption is for you. Right. That's how that's supposed to work. Right. Even if you never talk to the person you hurt ever again.
Exactly.
It's gonna suck, but you did the things you did.
Yes, and that sucks for somebody else.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and it doesn't even necessarily mean that that would be the outcome, because sometimes real forgiveness happens, and then the people who had that issue, they end up working together or end up loving each other, some shit. Mm-hmm. But the way that happened at the end of the Star Wars film, I didn't like, but that usually happens, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's not even like always gonna be some like dark karma retribution, but if it does end up that way for you, you also have to accept it. Yeah, it just is what it is, man. That's what a redemption arc really is.
Let's talk about porn addictions, because you...
Oh yeah, I didn't forget, man. Well, it's just like sometimes I wonder, because I met someone. Okay. You know what I mean? And we getting a little sexually active and stuff like that. But I'm finding myself like not as into her as I should be. And so I talked to my therapist about it. And so like she's saying like it's not the worst thing, not the biggest deal, but you like need to cut back. And so, that's her perspective, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Whereas my perspective was like, holy shit, like my brain's infested. And then
Why did your brains go straight to...
No, I mean, not before I talk to her. It's just because that's just how I am. And I'll be like, fuck, man. And it's like I like content like that, lewd content, women feeling comfortable, porn, expressing themselves, stuff like that. Love all that content. But nonetheless, you know, in America, like sex is sold so readily. Like sex is used to sell readily, you know what I mean? And now porn is so available to us, whereas before that wouldn't have been the case for someone like in the 60s. And I just think that that makes a change in you otherwise. And I imagine it affects other parts of my life too, because, you know, I'm antisocial. I don't go out as much. And sometimes I don't make as much effort to pursue women as I could. There's other reasons for that as well, of course, and more important reasons. But like at the same time, I also feel that's sometimes a part of the reason that I don't figure out how I can better like approach women without making it uncomfortable for them, because that's the real problem. You don't want to just pull up on someone on the street and then they're like, yo, I don't know you, because that's weird.
Right.
But nonetheless, you could figure out how to navigate that in some fashion. And sometimes maybe you don't do that.
What happened that made you feel like there was something wrong with the relationship, though?
In terms of me and the girl?
The girl, yeah.
Oh, no. So it's just been me. But also, like, there could also, and that's another thing I spoke with therapists about, because I'm on medication. So there could be some other things going on. But like I wasn't really like holding erection as well as I usually would, which is like concerning to me because that's never been a problem. But there's a lot going on in my life right now, so I'm not trying to like take it serious. But that's why I even brought it up to myself in the first place and was like, this is a real thing.
You thought it was like the porn that made you like not perform as well. And
in some sense, yeah. And I was like, is that the case? You know what I mean? And it could be. After all, it changes your perception of what you're kind of like interested in or into, which I never thought was a problem to me, because like what I like in real life is literally what I'm watching in porn, you know what I mean? In terms of like the variety of women I'm aesthetically attracted to, you know what I'm saying? And so it made me think about it. But then, you know, now I'm on medication as well. And therapists and doc are like, yeah, there are side effects sometimes. And I'm like, bro.
So then the problem isn't the porn?
Well, we're not like entirely sure. But I still feel as if I might be better off without, maybe. And I wonder if some other people feel that way as well. Because, I mean, majority men, but some women too.
Sorry. Do you feel like you watch an excessive amount of porn? Like, what would be like an excessive amount for you?
Well, excessive would be like if like I'm doing something like 3 to 5 times a day, I'm watching porn for no reason every day.
That's a lot, yeah.
That's a lot, right? That's excessive. So I'm not doing anything like that. But, you know, I have, you know, ups and downs. Times change and stuff as I go.
Well, I say that's a lot, but you know,
to me,
that's how you live.
A lot. This isn't about judging or shaming anyone, but from my perspective, that seems like it would be a lot.
That's a lot for your lifestyle. Let's say it like that.
You know what I mean? Because like, because you have to make that time, unless like you just like going quick.
You're like, well, that's a lot of time out of your day.
You know what I'm saying? 3 to 5, unless you just busting quick and then you get right back to it and it's like, yeah, it was 3 times, but all in a span of 20 minutes, best 20 minutes of my life. Okay, like, all right, I guess if it only takes up 20 minutes of your time, but I imagine it takes a lot of time.
I don't think you have to like masturbate every time you watch porn.
Oh, well, I'm not the type to just watch porn without masturbating.
Without a purpose?
I guess some people are. I forget to think about that. Yeah, there are people who just like to watch porn. I watch like lewd content, which isn't necessarily nudity and stuff. I like seeing some of that, but porn, like, no, if it isn't for the express purpose to climax, like, I'm not really watching it, me personally.
Do you feel like you have an addiction to porn? Well,
not like hard body addiction, but I did want to beg the question just as a person holding myself accountable. Because as a man, I want to hold myself accountable to the problems that I feel like I may be having. And so I was checking in with people, you know, specifically my therapist, to talk about it. So no, it's not an addiction. I don't put porn ahead of anything happening in my life that's more important, like my family, friends, career, stuff like that. Never. Right. So no, but nonetheless, like, it's become like this normalized part of my life, and I just wonder about its effects on me. You know what I'm saying? Because it was just embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? Because I never want that to be the case with any woman, no matter whether I'm really attracted to you or not as attracted to you. Regardless, if like we come together and want to have sex, it should be an enjoyable experience, and I want to do my best for you at that. So it was just like I had to wonder because that hadn't happened before.
I don't know. I mean, I get it. We're young people, but like, you know, you don't got to get it up every time.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't.
But Logan, for me and the way my mind and the way it's been, like I do. It's like, yes, you do. That's who I am. But that's who I am, and I don't mean like, and I'm not saying I'm holding anyone
putting their whole life in their dick. Like
I'm not. It's just because it's not about it. It's not about like, my whole life.
Like I'm like, because
that is
you.
That is me, and that's not my whole life. But in terms of that aspect, how I feel about life in that aspect, like if I'm getting ready to do that, I want to be able to perform.
It gave you a whole existential crisis.
Not like too bad, but like a little bit. It's only a little existential. Not like heavy existential. So don't feel like too bad. Only a little bit.
Listen.
And it isn't like on some toxic masculinity bullshit. Keep in mind, Logan, I'm not. No, Logan. No, Logan. Because this has never happened to me before. So this isn't me going like, oh, that's how I'm supposed. It's not just me going, that's how it's supposed to be. I'm that nigga. It's me going, I'm concerned for my health as a man. That was what's important.
Nah, that shit happens, man.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But for me, like, I was like
it just scared you a little?
It scared the shit out of me, bro. It's still scaring the shit out of me, bro. But it's also hampering what.
Have you never had like a time like this has happened to me? You never had like a time where I'm gonna throw myself in here because I feel like you're like offering a lot and I'm not helping.
Well, you know, I just be transparent no more.
I know you are, but like I feel like I should be a good friend. Like this is ultra personal shit. I just like
no, I know. And you know, funny enough, when I brought up the conversation, I forgot that this would happen and was like, oh shit, I gotta talk about why I brought this up in the first place.
But no, you ever have it happen to you where like, not where you're like with somebody else, but just for yourself, it's just like, I don't want, like, he's just like on break. He's like, nah, I'm not working today.
Well, in terms of when I masturbate, no.
That's crazy.
Logan, I'm not even, so once again, well, no, not once again, but I'm literally.
But you do eat well. You work out and shit, and I'm like,
well, and I do live a particular lifestyle. This isn't me trying to brag. Once again, this is concern. I was concerned because like this is a new feeling. I haven't had it like this. No, I've never had an issue really holding an erection for anyone. Now, whether the sex was good or not is a different conversation. But in terms of me being able to like be ready to perform, that hadn't really been like an issue for me to deal with before.
That's crazy. You got a great like a fortunate sex life because sometimes I just be turned the fuck off. Like some days, like
no, that
you're not doing anything for me. Like I'm not in. I'm picky.
No, I get that. Picky. And that's what I'm wrestling with right now. Cause you know, I like said person. I thought I was mostly attracted to her, but it could be me being real with myself. Maybe, and you know, maybe man's downstairs is like, nah, Mitch, this ain't cutting it no more. Like, which
just not be into her.
Yeah, I know. And that's what but like, remember, and once again, this is just, I was really concerned because like that usually was an issue. If I take the time to get to know you, if I'm attracted to you in some capacity, whether you're like a 10 to me, if we want to use a bullshit number scale, or like you're a 5 that I was like, I just want to do this. Regardless, if I'm attracted to you in some capacity, I'm going to want to have sex with you and I'm not going to have an issue performing. And so for this instance, and you know, I don't really want to put it on her because I don't really think it's her. You know,
that's
once again, holding myself accountable.
You don't feel like, if you're not like...
No, excuse me, because I do agree with you. So no, I'm not, when I said I'm not putting on her, it's because I'm saying like, it's me thing. Like, you know, maybe I was an intern and I have to accept that.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I meant. So yeah, my fault. But yeah, like, it was a concern. It was straight up concerning. And, you know, branching out into another conversation in terms of men's health, because, you know, I am going to be 30. And, you know, men do have to like, be comfortable having those conversations and accepting those truths. But, you know, it's hard because sometimes people, you know, get into situationships, we can say, and like you feel you owe somebody something or they owe you something when nobody owes anybody anything. You know what I'm saying? And you'll do stuff or act a certain way because you think like you should. But like, nah, you gotta do all that. You gotta be real with yourself and accept, like, if this isn't something you're feeling and you don't like it, you have to choose you in a sense and just be real about that with yourself, and then be real about that with the other person.
I was thinking about that today, that like men don't really talk about what like their sexual boundaries are. Like they don't, because they don't really explore that side of themselves a lot.
Absolutely.
There's not a lot of introspection and what you don't like as what, like, we're always called to like sex, and we're always called to like everything about sex. So that means no matter who we're with, we're called to like what they have to give us. And that's not necessarily the case, because everybody as an individual has different wants and needs that have to get taken care of, especially when it comes to sex. And so we get into this thing where like, so that's why I like ask you, I'm like, well, maybe you're just not into this person the way you thought you were.
Yeah,
because,
absolutely valid.
Because you don't need to like everybody. You know what I mean? Right. And like, we're always pressured, I think, as men to like, if you have a woman in front of you, like it should be on, like, you know what I mean? And that's not always the case, you know, even if they're attractive to you, doesn't mean they're attractive to me. And even if I think they're attractive, doesn't mean I find them attractive in that way. Like sex is complicated. Like there's a lot of factors involved when it comes to sex that don't just have to do with me, man, me have dick, put it in you. Like it has a lot more to do, like psychologically. It's a lot to put on to ourselves. Absolutely. And like that, you know, we started the conversation with like porn addiction and stuff. And it's funny because like, okay, I just had to check my mic because I was like, am I talking? Yeah, sorry. Anyways, we started with like porn addiction, and it's funny because like we were going to talk about this last week, but we didn't have time. But like, I sent you those videos where like one video was like a guy, he had a whole TED talk.
Yep.
He had a whole TED talk about how like this is a problem. Like porn addiction is a problem, and this is something that, you know, happens to men, and that like, you know, it affects their sexual performance and everything. And then I had another video where somebody said the exact opposite, and he was like, "Yeah, this is not real." Like,
well, you know,
he's like, porn addiction is very
specific.
Real.
Let's get into that, because there was some specific things that were said afterwards. Once you look past just the headlines, because I ended up agreeing with both of them. Yes. Because, you know, I'm still formulating my perspective on it as well. But it's like the first dude was just like, let's not treat it as if it's a medical crisis. Right. Which is fair.
Yes, exactly.
Which is fair. Let's not treat it like it's a medical crisis, like it's a medical addiction
or some shit.
You're not, you know, off some heroin, actually physically addicted. You know what I mean? So we shouldn't treat it like that. And we should be willing to have the conversation on how porn could be used, and you should be talking to your partner, because that is what's important, and that's what he was stressing. You know what I mean?
You know, based off of that, before you go any further, with just that though, like I feel like a lot of that comes from this idea that like I was just saying, like we don't talk about what you actually like. So like when he was saying that, like, how do you put porn into your life, and how do you and your partner use porn? Like a lot of that is a conversation you have with your partner about like what you like and what do you like. And if you're keeping that away from your partner, you're making mentally a division in your head about sex. You know what I mean? Like you're separating sex from your partner and separating it from your like actual like sexual preferences and likes and stuff. And so that schism, I feel like, leaves a lot of room for confusion in the body when it comes to like, is this what I like? Or am I getting everything I want out of it? And that can be like exhausting. You know what I mean? Which could lead to those problems where it's like, I didn't get it up tonight, or like, you know, whatever.
Sorry, babe. I wasn't,
you know what I mean?
Because it's like going through it right now, and it's just blowing my mind, because I didn't see myself experiencing those things, and it's just, I'm just like, wow, what is happening? What changes are going on? But in terms of going back to the video, the other dude, so first dude was just like, let's not treat it like a medical crisis. Let's communicate. That's what's important. So it's not that necessarily porn is the main issue here. It's that there's a lack of communication. And as you just said, and what people want. And then the other dude on the TED Talk was just like, all right, but there are some things we got to talk about here, because where it may not be like a physical addiction, like, you know, you need some Narcan or something. There's obviously something going on mentally where you could either have some blocks, motivational issues, things of that nature. And that's why I said, once again, like, shit, I wanted to be on one side of this, but like, I can understand where they're both coming from. On one side, have experienced it, because I am the type to communicate as best as I can, at least I hope. You know what I mean? Communicate to my partners, listen to my partners as best as I can. You know, and I hope in choosing a partner that I'm finding someone that I'm attracted to, because who goes and purposely commits time to being with someone they're not attracted to, whether it be physically, mentally, or otherwise. And for me, like, I need a good combination. Oh, really? Okay. So, and no shame. Some dudes might have as well.
He's like, who does that shit? I'll be like, me.
Well, sometimes we don't have to be mean about it, but we do, as people, men and women, we have certain standards for ourselves. Not necessarily, we won't talk about the effect society has on our standards, but we all have standards, and sometimes we go a little below it because we're down bad, or
no,
we're wanting to see
it's
things.
not
you know
a
what I'm
standard thing. It was like, for me at least, it was me like exploring if I even liked the things that I liked.
Ah, you know, so you're experimenting. Okay.
Yeah, so it was like, you know, I wanted to step out of my comfort zone and like date people who I traditionally would not have dated. Okay. You know, like looking at people who I probably didn't find initially attractive, but then like being like, you know, let me talk to this person. Like, this person wants to date me and they want to talk to me. Let me talk to them. Let me give them a chance, so that, like, not like give them a chance, but like, let me actually give them the time of day to figure out if I like somebody who's like this, what type of person this is, what type of like thing that I might find attractive about them. Because I feel like if you never like do that for yourself, like some people, yeah, you can do that, like never do that for yourself and like be fine. But for me, yeah. I wanted to make sure that I explored myself as much as I could. You know what I mean?
No, I respect that. That's
so
really
like
cool,
that
actually.
was like something I did for a little while, where I was like, you know, let me talk to people who I probably normally would not have talked to. You know what I mean? So yeah, So you date somebody who maybe even you think isn't attractive physically, but like now you've like found like there are things that you find attractive about them later on, you know, and that has happened to me. You know what I mean?
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Well, so in one capacity in my head, I try to do that because like for me, it was a long path in terms of truly being the person who like goes after for what he wants unapologetically. Because, you know, I'm empathetic. So, and I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings because the fact is I actually respect women, and respecting women means respecting them, whether you want to sleep with them on some level or not. You know what I'm saying? So I was growing up like, shit, you know, this woman's really nice to me and she's feeling me. And I'm like, but I don't want to like hurt her feelings and stuff like that. You know, when you're real young and you have to kind of, like, as harsh as it sounds, because all you do in a situation like that is you don't give your all. So if you're not feeling someone, even if they are feeling you, which we end up learning eventually at some point, some sooner than others, me a little bit later, but you know, just got to be real about it. So like it took me a little bit. And now that I'm there, like I thought I was good, you know, go after, you know, what you like, what you're capable of actually like getting with, because, you know, dating doesn't always work out in your favor or whatnot. And then usually it was just this enjoyable experience. But, you know, now for like the first time in my life, like I am. And so on one level, you still are right, because it is concerned, but you was like, you know, what's up with men trying to live through their dicks? And on one level, I never thought that way because I never had to. And now I'm just like, shit, can I not live through my dick anymore? for real, on one level. And I'm realizing that must be what men, you know, experiencing erectile dysfunction go through, or like, you know, just testosterone levels dropping and stuff like that, and never thought about it before. And that's the conversation we need to have too. Like, how do we actually confront that? You know
but
what I'm
that's
saying?
also a lot. When I said that, what I mean is like, that's a lot of pressure to put on your dick. You know what I mean?
And on some level, like I get what you're saying. And because, you know, it's like, and you were right as well, because, you know, we're expected to be sexual. And it's like men are sexual. And it's only once the involvement of a woman comes into place where we explore sensuality, not sexuality, sensuality, and get it all. Yeah. You know, I'm about to.
Yeah.
You about to have the best. We going to do things you ain't never done before. But it's like, no, like we all need to be exploring that and opening ourselves up. But men are fucking insecure little whiny crybaby baby back bitches. So like, I'm sorry, I don't know why I was so angry about that just now. I didn't need to do all that, but that is how I feel about it because it's fucked me up a lot in life because we forget the patriarchy isn't just bad for women, which is why it needs to be dismantled in the first place. Because you say, yo, why is there so much pressure? That's the patriarchy.
You know what I was thinking is that like a lot of that comes from like you caring about how other men perceive you sexually. And like we don't say it that way, but that's what it is.
True.
You know what I mean?
Also women, though, to be fair. Like it is men, but also because you want to be able to, you know, locker room talk with the boys. Like, hey, you know, I just, you know, I was in there, you know, tearing it down. You know what I'm saying? And then you want to be able to pull up on the ladies, be like, hey, you know, I carry around, I swing that thing, I got it on me. And it's like, yeah. It's like, talk like a normal person first, bro.
That's your game, man?
Talk like a normal person first, player. Damn. But yeah, I know, right? I don't know. I just tried to make him sound as gross as I could. Like, listen, I'm just an actor trying to, you know, make certain characters on the spot, bro. Like, I don't know if they always gonna come out, you know, best they could be.
Oh my god!
But no, man, it is. We really do need to open up. Men need to become more secure with themselves. And in terms of opening up and exploring that. But, you know, also you got to take some of the pressure off because, you know, and my therapist has been telling me that as well. Like, you know, maybe don't like think about it too much. And then she'll like laugh because she's like, I know that's a funny one to say because it's kind of hard, but like that extra added pressure sometimes fuck you up and it shouldn't be there. You should just be enjoying yourself. And so like for me, I just got to, you know, put it all together. And like just get back out there and figure out what I'm really wanting and like actually work through the sex now since my body don't want to just get it together on its own like it used to, you know what I'm saying? But
like to your credit, I was in a full-on relationship where like I was not fulfilled sexually at all. Like, you know,
really?
Yeah, because it wasn't her fault. It wasn't necessarily my fault. It was just sexually we were incompatible. You know what I mean?
That is the truth.
And so it's like you can be attracted to that person and everything. And like, but if you're like sexual, like cycles don't like link up and like you want sex more than the other person, like it got real toxic at the end. But like at the same time, it's just like it taught me a lot about like the fact that I like needs are a thing as a man, like for me.
Right. No, I get you.
Like I need things. Like I can't just walk around and be like a dick attached to a dude and like have sex like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's an exploration that needs to, maybe this is just your wake up call.
To be fair, yeah, perhaps. Because no lie, like, and I am always trying to get mine, of course, you know what I mean? And I care about my partners. Of course, I want her to climax and have a good time. But there is a part of me that's just walking around like, all right, like I am in that instance, not in life, but in that instance, it's like, all right, I gotta be that dude. Cause you know, in some ways in my head, it's like I'm competing with like dildos and all that other shit. It's like,
why? Oh my God.
But like, and yeah, so it's a really complicated thing, but that's a fair point. This is my wake up call and I got to like reevaluate some things. And so I say that to other men out there and, you know, other women who may be with men experiencing such a thing, just have a little patience with them, and men like have some patience with yourself and figure it out. Take the time to figure it out. But, you know, sex addiction, porn addiction, all that, like, so like I said, I agreed with both of them. But if I was to put it in my own perspective, it's like, is it super dangerous if it's not truly affecting your life? No, and no one's here to shame you, kink shame you or otherwise. But there are some things to consider. watch yourself and hold yourself accountable. Because if you do have that relationship with sex or with porn, you're the one who has to watch the most careful. Unless like you have someone else, you for whatever reason have someone else paying attention to that for you. But you're the one who has to pay the most attention. So all I can really say to that and determining that, and of course, like talk to professionals if you can. But all I can say is that is if it doesn't feel like it's affecting your life and you're feeling good in your sexual life, then you're probably okay. But if there's confusion on any of those points, you may have some reevaluation to do, like myself.
I think you're going to be all right, though.
Yeah, I hope so, too.
Do you hope so?
Bro, it's been confusing. It's been a few times now, and I'm surprised.
Like, I don't feel like anything is... I'm not a doctor, but, like, I don't think anything wrong happened to you.
Well, nothing, like, medically wrong, I don't
fine.
think. Well, I do think the medication thing is something I have to consider. Because, the erection thing, I didn't last as long either, which I didn't bring up. But, like, I wasn't trying to, like, pull away. We were explaining shit. But, like, all of the stuff that comes with, like, bad sex, I was like, what is happening to me? I wasn't this dude before. What is going on? So I don't know. So yes, I said I hope.
You should have just been like, that's good. I don't know what you put in there. Like,
I should have been, but it's all new to me.
For you. Like,
you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that was the best.
You walk around like that all day, huh? Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, how'd you like that 20 seconds? Uh-huh. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I bet you never had 20 seconds like that in your life. All right. Oh, you want me to leave? That was a long time. Woo. Oh, you want me to go?
Like 15, 20 seconds? Oh,
shit, I got to delete your number on my phone too? Yo, I was just playing.
Don't call me.
But no, it's, I do have some things to reevaluate. It was a little scare. But yeah, you're right. There's nothing wrong with me, but I do have to figure some things out. I got to get some things right because this ain't. It is not funny. Okay. I was just so vulnerable just now, and for you to say that.
It's like,
but yeah, man, it really was like
James Franco was like, first time. I was like,
yeah. So like, but no, and for all the men who do feel like that, because I know I'm not the only one. Like,
you're fine.
Patience
like,
with yourself. You're fine.
Happens.
It's just
like,
shit happens. Yeah.
If she like complains, but be like, grow up. Like, just.
I am not co-signing that one. But Logan said it.
I had to be a little toxic.
A little bit. Okay. I know. I didn't co-sign that one, but you heard it here first. Yeah,
be like, what, you ever seen limp dick before?
Logan, oh my God.
Remember when that was a big thing? When it was like, if she don't know what Blue's Clues is, she too young for you, bro. It's like, if she ain't seen limp dick before, she's too young for you, bro. If she ain't never passed you to Viagra before, she's too young for you, bro.
Jeez. To be honest with you, she ain't got a hip replacement in. What you even fucking with her for?
Yeah. If she don't put her teeth in a jar before she goes to sleep,
you already know you fucked up, son.
Bro.
Come on now, man.
Oh man,
you see us in the retirement home. Come on now.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
Stop it, Leo. Oh, that's a good joke. Yo, we didn't record yesterday, right? Usually we record like on Thursdays.
Let me tell people our business like that.
I know. You would think, why does it take so long for the show to come out? Because I have a life. That's why.
And no interns to physically abuse and take advantage of. I'm sorry. I said physically. I meant take advantage of, not physically.
If you would like to become an intern on the Milk and Toast podcast, please contact us at themilkandtoast@gmail.com. And then you too can become an intern that we will abuse.
Wait, Logan, do you need interns?
Huh?
Do you want interns?
Should we have interns?
Whoa. This isn't an us question. It's you dealing with production stuff. That's what I'm talking about, getting interns. So do you want interns?
Wow. Any other time on the show.
Yeah.
I ask
like,
you and Claire
nah. Because
like,
when we,
you're not the boss. Now when I'm like, oh yeah, it's just you in production and like blah blah blah. Like,
I just keep it real. You know what I'm saying?
Now
and like once we get interns involved, you know, people start questioning whether we treat them right or not. So I don't want to be involved, but I'll get them for you.
Wow.
I'll get them for you, but like, but I ain't involved. I wash my hands clean.
That's crazy.
I wash my hands clean once I pass them off.
Where you gonna get interns? If you had interns in the tuck this whole time, I'm like, what the fuck?
Not in the tuck, but there's sites you can go to. Get real, like you'll find interns. Don't even pay them nothing. They'll do the work because they need the experience. So someone wants editing experience on a podcast.
They need, I need. If you need editing experience on a podcast, hit me up. No, tell me about Kendrick Lamar, because that's where I was going with that.
Oh, yes.
Because I was so happy last night that we didn't record last night. You don't know how happy I was, because I was just up. Like, I was just doing like little promo videos and stuff. Some of them came out, some of them didn't. But like, I was like, oh my God, Kendrick Lamar dropped. And I was like, I said, I have to stop everything I'm fucking doing. Like, I was like up at 2 a.m. listening to Kendrick Lamar. And like, this new album
has returned.
For real. Like, this is crazy. Okay? Like, I was like, okay, right now, I have not listened to the whole album. I'm going to tell you why. I know, sacrilegious. I'm going to tell you why. Because it was like 2 a.m. And I'm like, there's no way I'm getting the full effect of this album at 2 a.m.
Right.
So I listened to the first side of the album. I listened to disc 1 because it's separated in 2 discs. Like, there's disc 1 and disc 2. Yeah, there's like 9 songs, I think, for the first half and 9 for the last half, right? And I listened to the first 9, and I was
they don't split them up on Spotify.
The first song on the album.
No, the first, yeah. It starts off so well.
Fuck. I was like, this dude, the song is named United in Grief. I'm like, I just lost my mama. Like, how the fuck you gonna hit me with a song?
I wasn't
about
even
grief?
trying to do you like that, but but Kendrick's gonna do you like that though. Like, I'm not gonna do you like that. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, like, you know what I'm saying, Lo? Because you know, but you know, like Kendrick though, like he gonna hit you like that. You know what I'm saying? Because he Kendrick Lamar. You know what I'm talking about? So you know,
all through the song, like we all grieve different, and I was like, what the fuck?
I was like, yo, I mean, but you know, because you know that's K. Dot, you know, King Kendrick, you know what I'm saying?
That's my Kendrick voice, by the way.
You know, King, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
like
like, you know, look, I wasn't even trying to do that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't realize. I was just, you know, trying to put the gangster on a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But
this
you
is
know,
what I said.
Kendrick gonna do you like that, you know what I'm saying?
This is what I said like 4 years ago when like Damn came out. 4 or 5 years ago now. Shit, damn.
Yeah, I know, right?
I was like, Kendrick Lamar is an artist. Like, he's not just a rapper. This man makes art. Like, that's what he fucking does.
He does.
All right? It's nothing short of, like, y'all want to talk about who's the best rapper and all this bullshit. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
Like, this man doesn't just make rap. He makes art. Like, that's what he's concerned about.
What this project is.
Yeah. It's fucking
what it is.
Art. It's not about the rapping. If you like concerned about rapping and bars and all this bullshit, you not listening. You're not listening. I love
man, I still like bars. Like, but I get your point. I'm with you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
You gotta take it all. You ain't gotta take it all the way there. Like, we still recognize bars. I'm just saying, you know. Like,
just earlier in the week, he come out with the Heart Part 5.
Oh, I still got to go listen to that though. I forgot.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I know. I heard. Of course, I heard.
You heard about the music video?
Yeah, of course. I've seen pieces.
He turned into everybody. He turned into, from OJ to Kanye to fucking. My brain just farted.
OJ, Kanye. He was Kobe. I saw
Kobe to oh my god. I was like, what this dude? What is he doing?
But that's what he does.
Like, this is other level shit.
Like, that's what he does. That's what he's always done.
Who else is doing this?
To the way he does it? No,
nobody.
but not the way he does it. No one does it the way he does it. And that's why we appreciate it. Because, this album, it really... And, like, he's kind of been leaning more in that direction in general. He just wants to explore what he really feels as an artist, as a musician. And this one specifically, and I was telling you earlier, like, I was like, wow, this one's really for him.
Yeah.
Like, that's the way it felt to me as I hear it. That was just first listen, so I'm gonna listen to it again. But, like, it really sounds to me like this one's really for him. Like, he's releasing a lot. He's telling so much. It's like, to be honest with you, after everything I've already heard, I didn't think there was much more left to hear from Kendrick. And then Kendrick's like, nah, I'm still a living, breathing human going through shit, my nigga. Like, this what it is today.
He talked about that on the album. He talked about like having writer's block for like 2 years. Cause like Kendrick's like,
be like that. Mitchell dropped a project like 3 years ago. Hasn't dropped one since because people be getting writer's block and shit be fucking you up.
One line he said was like, I have writer's block for like 2 years and I didn't know what to say. So I asked, he said, I asked the Lord for words. And so this is him speaking through me. It's him. I was like, God damn. Like, I was like, come on now.
I was like, come on, man.
Bro.
Bro, come on, bro.
That's what I was like. That's what I
can't just be invoking Yeshua like that, bro.
That was like the second song or whatever. And I was like, I don't know if I could listen to all of this right now. Like,
I can't wait to listen to it again.
I'm like, I just did a whole day of work, and I'm not ready for all this bullshit right now. Like, I'm not ready for this,
bro. It's a lot, bro. I mean, other than the music. So first off, the music is amazing, and when I say that, mind you, everybody has a different style of music they like.
Nipsey Hussle. That's who I was trying to think of. Nipsey Hussle.
What were you thinking Nipsey for?
Because he turned into Nipsey in the video too.
Oh yeah, he turned into Nipsey too. Yeah,
he turned into Nipsey. He turned to Kobe. He turned into Kanye. Will Smith.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this dude Kendrick.
And the other day, I think there was a video of him like he was on a wire setup, being like hovered above a fucking beach because he's like, that's just what you're doing now. I'm from Compton. I gotta do all the crazy shit I wasn't doing in Compton, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? And it's great.
Yeah,
I fucking love it. I think it's wonderful.
And he could do that. That's what the other thing people don't understand. If you're a rapper, right, you got to make an album every year. But if you're an artist, you make art when it's appropriate, when you need to,
when you feel like you have to. And it's a tough life, but Kendrick lives it. Oh boy, he lives it. But as I was saying, the music, I know people like different genres of music, but in terms of its composition, in terms of how it's sounding to me, oh my goodness, the way he's putting it together. Just like, whatever type of genre you're listening to, if you listen to it, it's going to sound very, very, very put together, which is how almost all of Kendrick's projects have been, other than like the early ones, which kind of still were like that. Because that's just who Kendrick's been. And he says that. He's like, I'm never going to put out something that isn't like my full effort and put together and really complete. And he's been on that A1 since day one. And so there it is right there. Moving on from the music, Kendrick's saying a lot. You know what I mean? As you said, the grief song, bro, N95, there was the track, it was with Taylor Page.
I'm gonna tell you right now. We cry together. I listen to that shit too,
bro.
Listen,
bro, I don't even got a girl. I haven't even been in relationships like that, bro. I'm just like, yo. I'm just like, we need to talk more. Why don't we talk more, dog? Just why don't we talk more? Because that's what Kendrick does, man. Kendrick, mind you, like I hope Kendrick's not going through relationship issues like that because I don't think he is. He just understands so well and is able to just express that. You know what I mean? But he's just doing so much. And then at the end, because I know you didn't get to the end, but at the end and on Mirror, he's like, yo, I choose me. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny to hear that from Kendrick because you would have thought that in the first place. But lo and behold, that may not be the case.
So far, my favorite songs are United in Grief. Did I just lose my voice? What the hell just happened?
I don't know. You just got your
I just got all scratchy.
I do like United in Grief.
United in Grief, World Steppers, Father Time, almost every other song. We Cry Together. We Cry Together. I did like Purple Hearts.
And 95 hit me hard because I just like the way it bumped. Because like
M95, I liked. I think what happened is I read a tweet about N95 and then I got my hopes up and then I over expected for that. But like I feel like in a couple of weeks I'll just keep listening to it and I won't even remember. You know what I mean?
That's probably be one of the, because it's kind of like
one of the few. You think it's gonna be the radio one?
It's kind of one of the only few. Like I said, like it really is an art piece. It's kind of like one of the only few bangers on the project. The rest of it is really just beautiful fucking music. Honestly,
I do like N95 though because it's like it almost is like old 2000. It has that old 2000s type beat.
It's got a
like,
nice
you know
little
what I mean?
bump to it. It got a thump to it, and like it's still beautiful music as well. But the rest of the album is really just like, all right, I'm here to just be this creative musician and create this sound, you know what I mean, and all that. That's kind of the vibe to it. And because, you know, me personally, I even but I'll listen to, you know, Mr. Morale and Big Steppers again. But even now, I still prefer Good Kid, Mad City above all his projects.
Why? I want to know because that's not my favorite.
No, I know. A lot of people prefer To Pimp a Butterfly, or some people like Damn, which I don't get. But like for me, it's either Good Kid, Mad City or To Pimp a Butterfly.
What's wrong with Damn?
Nothing's wrong. No, just in comparison to the rest of the work. To me, it's either Good Kid or To Pimp a Butterfly. To me,
I think To Pimp a Butterfly is better than Damn. I'm not gonna lie. But I think Damn itself is this album. I feel like is what he was looking for Damn to be.
To be? Okay.
Yeah.
I could,
you
because I like this one
saying?
better than Damn. Yeah. I definitely like this one better than Damn.
Yeah.
But I prefer Good Kid, Mad City because that's just who I am. And the Kendrick Lamar that we got during Good Kid, Mad City, all just that raw energy, but filtered through this, like, it's like he was going through the process of refining himself and was able to put all that raw shit he was feeling from his environment in Compton, everything, and translated that shit so beautifully. I go listen to Good, because, you know, people sleep on Good Kid now because Pimp a Butterfly came out, and To Pimp a Butterfly was so amazing. It was such a great work, this combination that he put together, the album, which is true. But, like, go listen to Good Kid, Mad City again. And tell me it isn't just the most fire thing you've ever heard.
I'll listen to it again.
Because I stuck by that, and then I listened to it with the homies. I was like, let's listen to both right now. Right. And then we was just sitting there like, God damn, bro. So go listen to Good Kid again. So Good Kid's still my favorite project, and I prefer Good Kid over Overly Dedicated and his projects before, and the music before. But I just kept preferring Good Kid. To Pimp a Butterfly came out, and I rocked with To Pimp like everybody else. And was like, yo, this is it. And then was actually thinking about it and listened back to Good Kid. And I was like, oh, no, it's still Good Kid. And then I listened to Damn and was like, nah, this doesn't do it like Pimp or Good Kid. Of course, it's amazing still because Kendrick's works are amazing. And then I'm listening to this now and I was like, oh, this is better than Damn and more touching to me than all the other projects he's done.
This album the new one, it came at a good time for me because, like, Damn, I've been listening to since Damn came out. Like, I still have Damn on, like...
Oh, yeah.
I have
Shout out DNA, because that shit goes hard.
DNA goes hard.
DNA goes so fucking hard.
DNA goes hard, but Element goes harder. Like,
Element is... I still prefer, but Element is a beautiful, beautiful track.
Element is...
Feel, I like too, because the end of Feel is... I wish the end of Feel was an entire song itself, because I like the way he spazzes on the track at the end, because that's just who I am.
You know what I really like? Like, one of the more artsy songs on Damn is like Fear. Like, where he's talking about, like, you know, all the things that you fear as you growing up and like living through and like living through life. Like, that is a real song. Like, you know, like when he's like, I better not catch you doing this and that, when he's like the parent and stuff, and like, you know, like all that shit is so real. I love that. But like, Damn is like, for me, when Damn first came out, I loved it, but it's like there was something missing. You know what I mean? And I feel like this album is kind of like I think Damn was like trying to be in between like the commercial and like the artsy Kendrick. Where like this one is like just like Kendrick being like, I get to do whatever the fuck I want. I'm gonna do that.
My man said, and you'll hear it when you listen and get to the end. My man was literally like, I choose me. Yeah. I've never, personally, I don't think I've remembered hearing Kendrick say that in the first place. because I already thought he was choosing him. I thought all the actions he was taking and solidifying his career, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Was him choosing him. But he made this statement. He's like, I choose me. And you never know what people are going through. You never know what an artist is going through. And honestly, whenever I've heard Kendrick's music, I've been sitting here like, oh my God, thank you. This is fire. And I'm so inspired. And on the other end, like, but also, I hope you okay, my nigga. I hope you okay. You feeling uplifted with your girl. Take care of your family, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? But like, because you do have to wonder. And so when I heard that, I'm just like, and I hear him say that, and I'm like, yes, blessed and good for you. And I'm hoping that means is you were having trouble, because he talks about that, especially in The Pimp a Butterfly, the survivor's guilt, going a little insane, dealing with all this fame, and because Good Kid dropped, and fucking world ain't know what to do. And then he made To Pimp a Butterfly. And the rest of the world that wasn't involved was like, oh my God, this is a masterpiece. We could put this in a museum. You know what I mean? But like now I'm seeing like he's really choosing him. And if that is the case, like I am happy for you. You know what I mean? For real, for real. Because if you could be achieving all the things you're achieving, be at this level of artistry, balancing this level of artistry against the toxic fucking industry that literally is master at destroying that kind of artistry. You know what I'm saying? You could do all that and you still wasn't feeling fulfilled somehow. Wow, that's crazy. That's so crazy. I'm sorry you were hurting like that. And I'm glad to know that you choose you, because you deserve that. Because I don't know who you do it for. I'm a fan and everything, but I never want you to do it for me.
You know how I feel
Please express it to the utmost, because
I feel like we need to protect Kendrick. Like, just pray for him every night, because
he be going through it. It seemed like, man, I don't know.
Not just that, it just feels like he's like one of those artists that like you only get every couple of generations, and they end up dying real young because like their time on Earth they spent up. You know what I mean?
No, I was thinking that on the train ride back from work today when I was coming back. I was literally thinking that I was like, damn. I was like, shit, we're never gonna get another Kendrick. I don't think it ever. You know what I mean? Because you know, I know they made Drake Artist of the Decade, and don't get me wrong, like he has earned that in terms of his longevity and the consistency. But for me, like Kendrick is that artist.
What's what's Drake's impact in that way? You know what I mean?
No, like, in that way, I know, because I could talk about the music industry and his impact there, no, in terms of his like the actual impact in terms of what the art does, like he doesn't do it like
Drake change.
That's
what I mean.
He helps people feel good, you know, especially women sometimes, which is wonderful. And you know, it's the wholesome, you know, get right, enjoy yourself, have a good time type of music, which is beautiful and wonderful. But like, it's not the way. And that's the type of person I am. That's the type of artist I am. Therefore, that's what my interests lead. But nonetheless, objectively speaking, like. That's not his lane to say. The way Kendrick's music comes out, the impact he has, it's just different. You know what I mean? And no, I don't know anybody else doing that other than J. Cole. You know what I'm saying? That's another conversation. But Cole don't do it like Kendrick. Kendrick don't do it like Cole. No. Which I love, because J. Cole is another artist that I would be like, yo, we ain't never going to get another artist like Cole, because people just don't work and think like them, and they ain't genuine and authentic like the two of them are. But, you know, Kendrick, like, I was thinking that shit on the train. I was like, damn, he really is like that one of a kind. Like, we're not gonna, the way he's put the music together. I ever told you Kendrick Lamar is the reason I even started thinking about rapping in the first place?
No,
not Drake, not Childish Gambino, which people would have assumed because I did love their music. But no, I was listening to Kendrick Lamar. I was like, and it felt so, because I was acting and the music felt so theatrical. There was so much character in the music.
There is, yes.
There was so much character. I was like, oh my God, I can't handle all this. Because as an actor, I mean, born or raised of hip hop, of course, but I chose the life of acting and that affected me a different way. So when I heard the music, I was like, yo, God, the character is just speaking to me. Jesus Christ. Like literally like the character off the music, like I'm just feeling like who he's playing and who he's being. I'm like, that's amazing. And that made me want to like, hey, let me try to figure out music. Because after all, if Childish can do it, and, you know, Drake can do it, and Drake was on Degrassi.
I think you should have stopped there. If like Childish.
You know what I'm saying? Well, no, I don't mean that in terms of talent, because those are both two of the most talented people on the planet. I mean that in terms.
Gambino, he's all right.
No, I love him because of the Internet is my favorite album, for the record. Right. But nonetheless, it was because of how they sounded. I didn't think they fit the image. Because at the time, you know, there's back in the days in the 90s, it was like, you couldn't be a square and be a rapper. You had to be selling drugs and shooting niggas. The fuck? And then and that's Drake's influence on the game, for the record. Because people like Drake came out and it was like, oh, this dude from Degrassi. But the music was fire. And then Childish Gambino was like, yo, he sounds nerdy as fuck, but the music is fire. You see, Kendrick didn't have to deal with that. Kendrick's from Compton. my man already baptized already set. You know what I mean? So they had that influence, but Kendrick was the reason I was like, you know what I mean? And we come from different backgrounds, but that's why art is so beautiful. And that's why I respect him so much, because I wouldn't even have felt that way without, you know, I literally wouldn't have pursued music at all if I hadn't listened to Kendrick and been like, yo. And mind you, I've listened to many great artists. My favorite rapper is Lupe Fiasco. Many great artists, but it was listening to Kendrick that made that click for me. Yeah. You know what I mean? I just don't know. I don't know if we'll ever get another artist like that. Because they'll be influenced by him in the first place, so who knows? But like,
I think it's because like Kendrick like bridges the gap between like rap and art in a way that's so clear. Like rap
in a way that's really clear.
Like rap isn't art,
but it doesn't really feel that way all the time.
When Kendrick does it, it's like he's painting. You know what I mean? Like he has a free, abstract way of doing it. Like even like using the fact that he uses like jazz in the first place and a lot of his music,
and just mixes it up. You know what I'm saying?
That like it's that thing that where like is all this dysfunction and it's like it comes together in a way that like only the artist can bring it together. You know what I mean? You know what I'm kind of trying to say? Yes. It's just like jazz has this abstract way about it where like you don't always know where you're going, but you always end up there anyways. You know what I mean? And that's kind of how Kendrick
it's a lot of improv,
does music
bro.
Anyways. Yeah, it's a lot of improv and stuff. Yeah, thank you. That
I got you.
You gotta have an actor friend. You got to have an actor.
I'm the talent.
But yeah, it's like there's all this improv and stuff, and then like to like even bridge the gap even further is like if you take jazz, which is a medium that's full of improv, you take rap, which is also an improvised medium in itself, even when you don't like, that's what freestyling is, you know what I mean? And then like just the idea of like marrying them together is like genius in itself, but it's not overly done, you know, like it's not a well done thing, you know. And then like the way Kendrick brings that into the mainstream, and then he still like does it in a way where like he does it as if like he doesn't have like all the money in the world behind him. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like he does it like he's still an independent rapper or something. And he can just do that. Like I don't know if I'm just talking out of my ass.
No,
but like,
well, you know, because that's what. And mind you, keep this in mind. Like Kendrick Lamar is still on a label. This is his last album on the label. So I want to see what he. You know, what changes, because now that he really has his own control, because I imagine that's what he's looking for. I imagine there's plenty of shit that Kendrick was told, like, Kendrick, I don't think you do that, not because we don't think it's great. You know, Top Dog in the office like, nah, you know, that shit's great, Ken. He's like, oh, thanks, Top. He's like, yeah, no, I need something else, though. Nigga, I just spent like 4 fucking hours. He's like, yeah, I know, but...
Which TDE isn't a bad label either.
No, not at all. Like, but that's just how the industry works. Not at all. I imagine he has a good relationship with Top Dog and, of course, the other members of Black Hippie, but the music industry is just like that. And when you get in the group, it ain't necessarily about, like... And that's shit that I don't like, too. But it's like, it's not always necessarily about what you wanted to put out, what you wanted to express. How are people going to receive this? Will it get us paid? You know what I mean? So I imagine he deals with that on some level. Maybe not as worse as other artists, but I imagine he deals with that to some level. And I'm excited to see, like, what he does after this.
I want to know, too. Like that I want to know what happens next, is because I don't know, because without that influence, it's interesting as well, because in some ways artists do need like somebody to edit for them. They need that editing. You know what I mean? They need somebody to be like, hey, I know you did a lot on this one.
Otherwise
but this
we'll stay all the way up here.
This one is like, for a different project. Down? This is you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
But like, because there has to be somebody that like ties your audience back to you, like makes things like legible. Like
because you're just supposed to express, yeah,
a lot of the time what artists like to do is like they like to stay in the space where like they receive that divine energy of their creativeness, you know, and where they're like just speaking in tongues the whole time, and then just expect their audience to know what the fuck they're talking about. And
didn't
like
seem
sometimes
that complicated to me.
Sometimes with the job of producers and everybody involved, people who like bring those projects together, is to translate that for the broader public to get your message out even better. You know what I mean? So it is interesting. That's the part for me that would be interesting, is like figuring out like how much the influence was against him or for him. You know what I mean? Like was this something that limited you, or was this something that boosted you as an artist? Not that like Kendrick isn't as good as Kendrick is, you know what I mean? But there's a difference between art as a raw art and like art as like a refined art. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. No, that's kind of what the different, because and trust me, I'll be the first to say I wish like I had it more together, because I'm kind of a marriage of the two of those now, even though my organization skills could be a little bit better. But that's because of like mental issues and stuff like that. But like it really is you taking that energy and, you know, refining it into this place where it can be received by the masses. That's the hard part. Because usually we'll stay in the creative process and we're fun to look at. People want to be around us and stuff, and that's great. But in terms of like being consistent and maintaining like a fan base, you know, for lack of a better term, like, yeah, you gotta get that refinement on. It'd be like that sometimes. But in any case, shout out to Kendrick Lamar.
Shout out to Kendrick.
Shout out to Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. It's 9 out of 10 for me right now off the first listen. Only 10 out of 10s for him are, you know, Good Kid and To Pimp a Butterfly. So for me,
I'm gonna keep listening to it. I don't want to give it a rating because I think
I've heard it now. You don't have to. I've heard it. So like
no,
for me,
I'm
it's a 9 out of 10.
I don't want to give it a rating. I don't think I ever give like anything like that a rating, because like that's just like how do you fucking rate like the Mona Lisa? Like, you know what I mean? Like it's like what the fuck?
I feel that. No, I feel that.
Like,
and of course, like my rating doesn't mean anything. That's like just my thoughts on it.
I'm listening to the first song and now I'm like, fuck, now I'm like experiencing.
Now I gotta actually have to go deal with those emotions that I haven't been dealing with.
You know what I mean? So like for me, that's just, I can't, like that's not like, I'm not listening to Riding Through the Six. You know what I'm like? This is like some actual shit that I have to like contend with my life about. Like, you know,
fuck,
it's
like damn it, Kendrick, bro. I did not expect another crisis this late in the year, dog.
Like if I was going to give a rating for that, I would have been like 4 out of 10. Made me think about myself. Like it's just like,
fuck you, man. Fuck you. You cut all that shit out. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying, you know, vibe, you know, be in a club, throw some money at some bitch's ass. You out here having me crying and shit.
Trying to better my life and shit.
What the fuck wrong with you? Damn. No.
Last thing I wanted to talk about, I didn't tell you, but I did have it down.
Yeah, was that one thing? I was ready to go, man. Damn.
We only got one thing left. Damn, you do this every time. Listen, so last week we talked about. Don't make me laugh. You did that to me last time. Sorry. Last week we talked about Kevin Samuels a little bit.
Oh yeah.
And what I've been listening to and like thinking about.
Oh, someone went and learned a little bit about him, huh?
No. Okay. What do you mean learned a little bit about him? What do you think I was going to say? Now I'm mad.
No, carry on. We'll get to it later.
Motherfucker. Anyways.
My apologies. Carry on.
No, I'm so mad. What do you think I learned now? I want to know.
No. I didn't think you like actually learned anything. I thought you were just going to say like I've been looking at it and you know, I thought maybe I might have been like too harsh, but like he's still an asshole or some shit like that.
Fuck that
nigga. Damn, bro. Jesus, that's somebody's family member. Goddamn, bro.
Everybody is somebody's family member. Fuck that nigga. Anyways,
In any case, yeah, but not everybody's dealing with
that's somebody's son. Yeah, his son was an asshole. Like it's like, it's like no,
I couldn't be me. Anyway,
could it be you? Mitch is good to eat. Mitch, wasn't you just saying like fuck the stormtroopers and that's why they need to go?
The Death Star. See, I don't exactly pick and choose.
The Death Star wasn't empty.
It all depends.
It was just 1,000 Kevin Samuels on that bitch.
And if I was capable of getting them off in a humane way and then dealing with them afterwards, I would have. Since I could not, and the Death Star was too large of a threat to be left floating in space, blowing up planets and billions of people, them people had to go. It just is what it is. All right, glad we had that conversation. Carry on.
Anyways. So for Mitch, like 1,000 assholes. Okay.
Don't put words in my mouth. Explain what you was explaining.
Blow those bitches up. But like one is just like, oh my God, we can't. He's got a family.
No. No.
What number do we get to when people don't become human anymore?
No. No, that isn't what I said. Just finish explaining what you have to explain and stop trying to put words in my mouth.
Bitch. I want to know how many people we got to get to where it's like, you know what? Fuck it. Like,
it's just whatever. It's whatever. That's not the case here. Please finish your thoughts.
Yeah, like none of those people have families.
I don't know, but they didn't have them anymore. I don't know. Shouldn't have been piloting or working on the Death Star that you knew was blowing up planets for the Empire.
A lot of people didn't have a choice.
Yeah. It's mostly stormtroopers and the freaking...
A colonialist empire that forces like...
Yeah, but everyone on the Death Star was going to be some of their like trusted soldiers and stuff, bro. You're not
That's not like true.
That. Bro, you telling me the Death Star... that we never saw in any of the films with any type of slave labor, other than maybe when it was built.
Wookiees are slaves.
I'm saying, but they weren't on the Death Star, like, they weren't the main staff.
They could have been like...
No, and once again, we had the conversation about the casualties, and maybe there were some slave Wookiees who were also casualties, and I do feel bad for them, and the prisoners on the Death Star. I don't feel bad for anybody who's working on the Death Star, though.
What about that trash compactor worm?
Trash compactor worm?
Yeah, the worm in the trash compactor.
The one that almost got them killed?
Yeah, but it's just a worm.
I mean, yeah, I know he's just doing his job.
He's just doing his job.
I mean, but he ain't got one no more.
Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that, no, not that I have sympathy for Kevin Samuels or people like him. But what I was thinking about is that, like, there was a lot of discourse about, like, the type of content he made.
And the conversations being had between men and women, right? I did notice that. And a lot of fair shit was
Not really, no. What did you notice about that? Yeah.
Well, so it's it's just that, like, because, and on some sense, I agree, because he could be an asshole, but on some things, like, it was just him giving people what was his blunt truth.
You said that last week, and I still have a problem with that.
No, last time I said, like, he could be harsh, but this time it's like, nah, it's like, it was just the blunt truth, and, you know, certain people talk certain ways. Truth.
That's the fucking problem.
No, in some circumstance where he was coming, there's a lot of, and that's not even from him, to be honest. I don't even know that's him, but if we're speaking to the society we live in, and the way he sometimes talked to people, man and woman, if we're talking about the society we lived in, which is why people listened to him in the first place, because some people were just as superficial as he was, shit made sense.
I think where I was going with all this is that, like, I was going to talk about, like, the people that he was talking to. And, like, there's a lot of discourse about, like, who those people are, what he meant to them, and all this and that. And there was even, like, people talking about, like a lot of these people, they seem to be disenfranchised, or they, like, you know, disillusioned with their society around them, or like they're the type of people that, like, don't have good role models, don't have, like, good people in their lives. And, like, it always draws up this image of, like, these incel type kids, or, like, people that, like losers. You know what I mean? Like, just rejected losers.
Yeah,
like,
can't get up and
can't get anybody. And like, I take issue with that framing of like the people who listen to Kevin Samuels, because like when you look at the people who defend Kevin Samuels, they look to me more or less like everyday normal motherfuckers. Like they look like what I kept seeing happen, especially online, was a lot of people were surprised that their friends was listening to Kevin Samuels. Like a lot of people were surprised that their friends or people they knew for years were fans or followers of Kevin Samuels. You know what I mean? And it just, to me, that was like super interesting, because what I feel like what we like to do a lot of the time with shit that we hate is like make it so undesirable that like there's no way we could conceive that this is something that a regular sane person would like. So we make up this image of somebody who's like the most Gollum-ish, like gross creature, and say that this is the type of person that likes this bullshit. You know what I mean? and like it
but that
really
wasn't the case here.
Yeah, and it just gives us the ability to distance ourselves from like how bad our society really is, or like how not even how bad our society is, just like how not progressive we are, like as far as we think we are. And I think
that's something I would like to talk about after, but I keep that in the back of your head.
Well, that's what I'm thinking about, is that like it just serves to keep us stagnant. And like I feel like what it's meant to do is like say that this is not as bad as things are, and like this is the fringe or whatever. And what people had to wake up to is that like Kevin Samuels, his content is not necessarily the worst content you could find, which is which is to me like horrifying. You know what I mean? Because like a lot of what he said is low hanging fruit. You know what I mean? It's like low hanging fruit. It's like bottom tier nonsense. You know what I mean? Like it's just it's not like high brain shit. You know what I mean? Which means it's very accessible. Like it's very accessible for like a mass audience to interact with, come in contact with, and even consume. You know what I mean? So the idea that the only type of people that would listen to him are like people who live in their mother's basements and can't like get a girlfriend is ridiculous. You know what I mean? It's just fucking ridiculous to think that nobody else would be into that. And we do that with people like Trump. We do that with all types of people that we find
we don't
undesirable.
expect them to have the audience that they actually have.
Yeah, exactly.
But then they do. One thing you said though that was interesting, in terms of like the conversations being had, because it's like me personally, when I honestly take a look at it, because I didn't listen to Kevin Samuels, I'm not a fan of that type of talk. But honestly, whenever I look at some of the conversations, mind you, I don't even think Kevin Samuels is actually that person. I think he was just getting views, which would be easy for him. But he's just saying things that people think in the back of their head that they won't say out loud because they think it'd be too rude or go the wrong way, which always catches attention. But that's the conversation to be had, because it's like, how do we get into positions where we feel like we can't say certain things due to certain societal norms? Do we agree with that? Do we disagree? You know what I mean? Because that's one thing because listening to him speak sometimes, on some level, there was a part of me that I was like, dude. And on other levels, there was part of me that's like, I don't like the way you said it, but I would like to have that conversation. But because I don't like the way he said it, I don't want to listen. Because, I'm the type of person, like, you should be polite and kind to people. But nonetheless, and I'm willing to admit this, there's some things that I'd be like, and I have to check myself and be like, wow. And then I have to go, wait, do I really disagree, or am I just afraid to say that because of how I think people will perceive me?
Here's my thing. I feel like Kevin Samuels and like people like him who straddle this line between like respectable yet like asshole person, like
Kevin doesn't straddle that line. He's just an asshole person.
No, not really, because like a lot of what he talks about.
The only respectable part is the dress up.
No, it's not just the dress up. Like he started out as like, like a fashion blogger or whatever, and like promoting colognes and shit, like for men, like men's fashion and shit.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
But like, what beyond that, like his whole getup is, it morphed into more of beyond that. It morphed into like, you know, lifestyle things. Like he's a lifestyle type blogger. He's like he gives life advice to people. It's his life advice is like bullshit, but like that's what he does. You know what I mean? And so like a lot of it comes from like this weird pseudo conservative type of outlook where it's like, well, of course, you know, people don't like you if you're fat. You know, it's like all this type of bullshit. You know what I mean? Absolutely. And so like it comes out of that, but it also comes out of this weird type of respectability politics where it's like, go work. Yeah, like he said this real there's this clip of him and he's like, you know, young men don't want to go work. Find you a part-time job and like do this with the money and do that. Like take a third of it and invest it, take a third of it and pay your bills. I'm like, what part-time job are you working that you paying? Like
you paying bills,
like you chopping up all this money like
and
this,
have enough time for yourself.
You know? But it's all bullshit, but that's what he does, right? And so like
well, wait. In terms of, because I don't want people to think they can't like split, but I get where you're going. Okay, cool.
What I think about is the fact that like we have to stop listening to broken clocks. Like a broken clock is right twice a day, and that's it. You don't tell time off of a broken clock. Like you don't keep a broken clock up on the wall and you just like tell time off of that shit. You know, like you don't. Like you don't just wait for 12 o'clock to come around and be like, oh, it's 12. Like you don't do that. What you do is you get a clock that is actually reliable that you can tell time with. Even if that clock happens to be 5 minutes late or early, you still like it works. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be perfect, but it works. And what we like to do is like Kevin Samuels and a lot of like bloggers or video vloggers or whatever you want to call them, like what they suffer from is broken clock syndrome, which is like they are right. They use their rightness on the off chance that they're right as like their credibility.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Just talk a whole bunch of bullshit the rest of the time.
Yeah. And so then what that does is it leaves the door open to listen to their bullshit and then pseudo validate the bullshit they're talking about. You know what I mean? Right. So it's like this person, they're giving me really good financial advice that maybe I should get off my ass. Maybe I should clean my room and maybe I should get a job and all this and that. And then it's like, well, if he's right about that, maybe he is right about the way women look and the way I should like, you know, talk to women and stuff like this too. That's right. It all bleeds into that. You know what I mean? And like too often we come from a society that like, the highest thing in the world is to be right. You know what I mean? Yes, so like as soon as you're right about one thing, you've achieved nirvana. Like it's crazy. And it does not come from any place logical. But we're so desperate and so in need to be right that like even like a person that is like reprehensible, if they say something, if they go like 2 + 2 is 4, it's like, well, shit, he was right that one time. And it's like, what the fuck are we talking about now? You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't doubt that like Kevin Samuels ever had a good point on his show or whatever you want to call it. Right. But that's not the point.
Yeah, I get you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm not arguing that.
Anyway, what I was saying before is just that like a lot of people, they get like that moniker of being like, I think it's a bullshit moniker. I think like we don't want to accept how many people actually are into shit like that. And then it comes to the point where it's like, well, damn, if like my best friend is into this shit, like, how do I talk about this shit now? You know what I mean? Yeah. Which at the beginning, Mitch was like going to be like, you know, oh, Logan, you changed your mind. Like you got to walk some shit back. And it's like, no. No, because I like my integrity doesn't allow me to do that. Like the dude is wrong. He's wrong. He's wrong. He's wrong. He's wrong. Like
Okay.
he's so wrong, and so like there's like I can't be like. Let me give you an example. I can't be like this dude. I'm not talking about Kevin right now, but I can't like as an example. I can't be like this person is a Nazi, right? And then be like, oh, my best friend just so happens to like the Nazi blogger. And then be like, I gotta reframe how I talk about the Nazi blogger. Like that doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? Like I can't reframe how I talk about somebody just because I know somebody who is into that. You know? Like if they're wrong and you're into that wrongness, you just wrong too. Like it doesn't.
Well, yeah, that.
Like
yeah.
it doesn't change. Like I mean, like I understand where people are like coming from when they're like, maybe we should talk softer about it because we need to be able to reach these people. But there's still something wrong about that. There's just something wrong to me about it. Maybe I'm
that's
wrong.
within the people themselves. Because if you need to be talked softer too, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or if you don't listen until like someone makes a serious, intervention
Mm-hmm.
that says something about you.
Yeah.
On some level. It's only fair to say that.
No, that is fair to say.
So, like, I don't know. That's why what I brought up, because I don't agree with him at all either. But it's just like, But on some level, because now there is a whole bunch of discourse, and it's like, how do we actually really talk to each other?
Mm-hmm.
Is there truth? Are we telling each other the things that we really should be telling each other? Because here's this man. Mind you, and once again, I really don't even think he was really that person. I think he was just trying to get clicks. But here's this man saying all this shit that other people can say, but because of the way he's saying it and the reaction that he's getting, you know what I mean? There's a reason people are tuning in. So people are willing to listen to that on some level. So it's like, is that how you need to be talked to? And that's the question we have to have for ourselves. Why is that what you respect?
This is something I will concede though, because I feel like it's very easy to be to sound like and to be a pick-me in these type of situations where it's like, oh yeah, fuck Kevin Samuels. And it's like you high-fiving yourself and like patting yourself on the back about it. And like even listening to myself on the show last week, I was like, I didn't necessarily feel that way about myself, but I could see how other people would feel that way about me saying the things I was saying. And it's
about
not
his death and the passing? His passing?
No, just like how like anti him I was.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it's just like I get that as well. Like there's no value in that. There's like where you're attacking somebody for being low-hanging fruit, there is no valor or honor in being the one to chop down the person who's chopping that down. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people seek that as well. I don't necessarily seek that. What I wish is that like some people would second guess themselves when they engage with that type of content, and they would like think about, what that content is. Like, what are you putting into your mind? And as normalized as a lot of the shit that he made it sound, because it's supposed to go down smooth. He's a good entertainer. Like, that's what a lot of good entertainers do. They normalize shit. They normalize shit for you. They make the harsh medicine go down smoother, if they're like really good at what they do.
Right.
And like when you say like, I think he was just looking for clicks, I have a problem with that, because like, why did you choose that to look for your clicks? You know what I mean?
That's what, in terms of his environment or what he was doing. And, everybody chooses for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. That's what he thought would do it. And possibly that's what's been on his mind. And he wanted to be I could say these things that people are thinking and it'll get me views and stuff. Mm. But yeah, because when I hear people, when I was hearing him talk, I was like, wow. I was like, you're probably not even that nigga for real in the streets. But it's easy to do that behind a computer screen talking to someone like 1,000 miles away, ain't it?
Yeah.
That's all I mean. This isn't a defense of him at all. It's just
I got you.
Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't believe half of them, truth be told. Everybody's just out here to get clicks, man. In my mind, to be honest, that's how I feel about a lot of them. So, like, those dudes, you know, those other dudes, the fucking sexist, just misogynistic dudes.
Fresh and
who
Fit.
try to, is that their, I don't give a fuck about, is that their names?
Yeah, I think so.
Them I really dislike. But
I fucking hate those dudes.
Like, also, once again, just getting clicks. Loser
but
dudes.
They are definitely doing that to
clicks.
get clicks. But
yeah.
My thing about the I'm just doing it to get clicks thing is that, like, you still chose to
I know
to destroy other people as
that
your
does say
click.
something about
that
them.
Still says something
that still
about,
says a lot about them, of course.
Because you, at least on one end, felt like people were disposable enough for you to run over like that for your clicks.
And some people get like that. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's a little much for me.
That's a little much for me too. But it does happen. Just pray for him.
Thank you for indulging me, Mitch. Let's get out of here.
You're welcome. That'll be an extra whatever fee when we finally get paid.
It's the same time. I just kind of drew it out because we went a little later. But like, no, I added extra time.
I'll bill you. Don't worry. I'll bill you. Don't worry.
Oh, okay,
Trust
cool.
me, I'm gonna
I'll send it to the intern.
that I'm gonna get for you.
Yeah, exactly. Do you have anything you want to leave the people with, Mitch?
Really, be secure in yourself, know what you want, you know what I'm saying? And, don't, react too negatively to change, just like kind of deal with it, you know what I mean? I hope my experience helped any men or, women out there. If it helped you figure something out, I really hope it did. Yeah, man, George Lucas was fucking selling us just forgiving colonialism without no type of recompense. Or recompense, however you say that word. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't how it works. Ain't how it works. Kendrick Lamar, as always, thank you. Once again, it was amazing to listen to. Thank you. And, don't be like Kevin Samuels or that. You don't have to be like that. I know it's easy, truth be told, but, like, could you choose better, please?
It's not that easy. I think
it's kind of easy.
No, I think the Kevin Samuels way is the easy way because
that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, him and the fit, all those, like, I get getting into that would be easy, but like, don't do that, please. Like, it's gross.
I said that a couple of weeks ago that, like, I don't know if we actually recorded it or not, but I said that a couple of weeks ago that, like, it'd be so much easier if I was like a black conservative, Like, if I did, like, like Republican shit.
Oh, man,
like,
you'd be everywhere so fast.
I would be the best.
Everywhere so fast. Jesus Christ, we make so much money.
I should probably do that and, like, Don Lemon it. Like, just, like, be, like, really horrible for, like, 3 years. And then, like, switch. Be like, hey, I just read Bell Hooks and...
I was really horrible. We're going to work on that together. We're going to heal through this.
Yes.
Like a family. But yeah, that's all from me. Mitch
Thank
out.
you, Mitch.
You're welcome.
What do I have to say? Listen, I don't personally think porn addiction is real. I didn't say that.
I wish we had that during the conversation, but okay.
But if you feel like you have a problem, please go to therapy. You know what I mean?
Go to therapy, period, if you're having mental issues. And
That's
figure
true.
it out.
Yes.
Do that, period, so we're clear.
But, like, I feel like, like, people, you should, like, guys, especially, we don't get a lot of times where we can, like, talk to other men or talk to other guys, which is why I valued this conversation we had.
Yeah,
today.
I did too.
Is because we don't get a time to, like. I just got a note from Sarah.
What's it say?
It says, "Tell the people that you love me and I'm the best."
Awesome. Do it. Do it now. Do it again and mean it with feeling. Larry Logan, Macon Jr. You tell the people what Sarah said and
I'm
you
talking
enjoy
about porn
it.
right now. Oh,
Let's go ahead.
what was I saying?
Sarah, we love
yeah.
you. You're the best.
Guys. Yeah, like I was saying, I really value the conversation we had because like guys don't have that conversation. We don't have that conversation where it's like, hey, something's like off. Like, do you have this experience? Like, what is going on? In a way that's like a safe way to have that conversation. In a way that's like, you know, you can have like, I get it. Not all the dudes you talk to, you can like have that type of conversation with.
Yeah, we
like,
understand.
But that's not because you shouldn't or you can't. It's because maybe your relationship with that dude is not developed that way, and that's fine. You know what I mean? But we need to be able to talk to each other, and we need to be able to talk to ourselves about like what it is we like, what it is we need, not just what we desire, but what we need, and not just what our homies or our dudes think is like desirable or whatever. Like, it's your life, right? It's your life, it's your body, it's your dick. You need to like what you need to like for you.
Yeah.
Like nobody else is going to live your life.
Right.
Nobody has to.
Right.
Nobody has to go around living your life. So you have to really figure out for yourself. Like, don't be afraid to do that, especially if you're a younger guy. Like, figure out like what it is you actually like. You might think you know what you like, and I know a lot of people say that, especially when you're young. They say that to you. You think you know it. They're right. Like, you have to like really find out if the thing you don't like is really you not liking it, or is it just the people around you don't like it. Like, if you like ugly women, maybe you like
they're
ugly
not
women.
ugly. Well, or you're saying they're attracted to the women they find unattractive, which is something I've never heard of before, but I guess possible. Is that what you're saying?
I'm playing 3D chess over here. Keep up. Listen, if you like ugly women, like, explore that shit. Like, maybe that's for you, and maybe that's okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, maybe you should be okay with that. Become okay with yourself. Become okay with the things you like. This world is so big, and it's full of so many different types of things going on. And as long as you're like not threatening your own life and you're being safe, you know, and you're being safe for others, like, you need to figure out what it is you like and you love and you need. That's just essential to life, period. Yeah, I echo your statements before about Kevin Samuels. Like, it's easy to be the Kevin Samuels type figure. That's why his content is so universal, is because it taps into our baser instincts. It taps into our prejudices about each other.
We do want to say. And it's a different conversation, because we do need to find a way to get that out, because it shouldn't stew in you, but that wasn't it. That just wasn't it. Point blank, period. No.
It's like that, and I think I want to talk about that sometime in the future.
No, yeah, we should, because that's a definitely good conversation to have.
There's people that listen to that type of content because they're looking for guidance on an issue, you know, and it's hard, especially with like quote unquote woke type content, to like listen to that if you are in a desperate situation, because it can be very like a lot of woke content like condemns people. Like, it condemns you for how you are and who you are, but it doesn't necessarily, it's not always constructive. Like, a lot of that content is like content like saying like fuck people like Kevin Samuels, but not offering any solutions to the people about like, well, what should I do if I'm not supposed to be like this person? What should I do if I am like this person? You know what I mean? And it doesn't give anybody any out or anything like that. And like, I try to do that, but like, even I get caught up where I'm like, you know, and that I think that would be probably the only regret I have when I'm talking about content like that, is that I think sometimes I focus so much on saying fuck the people who are being hateful that like I don't leave room in the imagination for people who are looking for guidance in solutions in other ways, but maybe they're caught up with people like that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because what I'm doing is I'm anti this and I'm anti this problem, and that's great and good and all to be against the problem, but like if you're not offering any type of solution for the problem, you're just leaving people stranded with the problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and so
that's
like
true.
that's why that is something that I do want to explore in the future, is like what people can do instead of like when it comes to like just like the conversation we had earlier, like what do men do then if they're not supposed to talk to women the way Kevin Samuel says is okay? How should they talk instead? Like if they're not supposed to look at women in a certain way, how should they look at them? Like this idea of like a high value person, high value man, high value woman, I hate that thing because it doesn't like your value doesn't come from like how much money you make, what type of car you drive, like, and all of those things get like added into it. And it's very low hanging fruit because it's like, we believe that shit. Like we believe things. Yeah, we believe that our value is dependent on whether or not we have a car and not. And it's just like, that's not where your value as a human being comes from, and that's not how somebody as another human being trying to build a connection with you should value you.
Exactly.
You know? And so without saying that and just saying, you know, like fuck Kevin Samuels, I do a disservice and anybody else does a disservice to you by not like saying that to you as well. You know what I mean? So I think in like later episodes, I think it's building to that anyways, but I do want to talk about that. You know what I mean?
We definitely should.
As always, if you like the show, share the show. Why'd you look at me like that?
I didn't. I just so happened to make a face when you did that. I was actually just like
as soon as I did that.
Yeah, my fault.
If you like the show, share the show. Like the show or whatever, you know, whatever you like to do with the show. I don't give a fuck anymore.
Episode 50, baby.
Yeah, episode 50.
We don't give no fucks no more. All right? Go do whatever fuck you want then.
Yeah,
we catch you outside with that shit, players.
You know what? Yes. This is what I do want to say before we go. This is episode 50. Thank you so much for the people who've been here since the first day and like who've listened to us, and like all of you who like come to me and like say, oh, I listened to the show, and like you guys want to talk to me about shit
and we say on the show. Who do that.
It's crazy. It's insane. And like it's weird. It's weird to me when I don't know the person or I do know the person. It's so crazy to me. Like to even like, and it's not like a lot of people, but it's like enough to be like, this is weird. Like, you know, like to be like, why are you listening to me? But like I enjoy that, like you guys enjoy the show, and I'm always trying to look for ways to like push the show more, and I think that's where we're trying to go, and that's where we're going with it, you know what I mean? And so like this being episode 50 is like crazy because in my head this is where I was trying to get to all year. Like this was supposed to be like a year's worth of shows, this show, but like, you know, we have holidays and stuff and that like delays us, but like this is crazy to me that I even have 50 episodes when like I said from the beginning, most shows can't get past 5. So like from 5 to now, like when I got to 6, I was like, I felt like I was at 50, and now I'm at 50 and I feel like I'm at 100. So it's crazy.
We've been consistent.
You know what I mean?
And it's Sean.
So thank you guys for listening. Thank you for sharing the show. Thank you for subscribing, and thank you for doing all the things that good fans do and that you are, like the engagement that you do with the show and everything. Thank you for that. I don't think I have anything else but to say have a good day, have a good night, have a good weekend, have a good Kendrick album month. Yes, forever. Have a good Kendrick era. Because that's what this is. We are in the era of Kendrick again.
Enjoy the rain.
Enjoy the reign of the king. He's back. Return of the King. Enjoy. If this is the podcast you use to fall asleep, enjoy the somber sounds of our voice. Say bye to the people, Mitch.
I'm sore and want to go home. I love y'all, but I need to go.
He worked hard for the money. All right. This has been episode 50 of the Milk and Toast podcast. I've been your stuttering host, Logan, and
I'm your talent, Mitchell.
we're out. Bye.